Evie was born 9 weeks early, weighing 2.5 pounds. In special care, she developed reflux and vomiting, and when she came home, that continued. And really around 2 to 3 months, she started to develop eczema, which got more severe. Because there is a family history of allergy, Evie's cousin had severe fish and dairy allergy as a baby. We were careful not to introduce anything that we knew was a serious allergen, like nuts. Despite that, unfortunately, at age 1, we were just eating peanut butter in the room and Evie's eyes started to swell shut. They were completely shut and her face was beginning to swell on our way to A&E, and it's only then that I made the connection between the peanut butter and this reaction. When we arrived at A&E, we were seen by an A&E doctor. They agreed with us that it looked like an allergic reaction, so she was given antihistamine and monitored for around 2 hours. And blood tests were taken at that time to see what had caused the reaction. We went home, and it was around about 2 weeks later that we received a letter telling us that Evie was allergic to peanut and egg, which was a shock. I did start to worry about what that meant, so booked an appointment with the GP and sort of took it from there. When I spoke to the GP, I said I was really concerned because of the reaction that Evie had had, really just to something in the room, not even consuming any peanut. Because our GP is supportive and knows Evie's vulnerability from being premature, he did prescribe us an EpiPen. Did have to push for that a little bit, but we did get prescribed that. I was hoping that now we knew about the egg allergy in particular, because she had egg, that her eczema would reduce, but it didn't. And in fact, her allergies continued to get worse. Her skin got worse. She was wearing wet wraps and really looking very ill a lot of the time. And we started to notice that literally after every breakfast, she would get hives all over her body. A very strong reaction. And until we gave her an antihistamine, these wouldn't calm down. I knew the waiting time with my GP to get a referral was a long time. Blood tests weren't really suggested. So I took Evie privately to be seen and given skin prick tests. And that one we discovered about the dairy and the wheat, both which came up very strongly. So we took both those things out of her diet, and the eczema almost immediately cleared up. Unfortunately, Evie has gone on to have more severe reactions, as it appears, to dairy. And then when she was 3, actually, she had a very severe reaction to sesame, which again we weren't aware of. I think because we hadn't seen specialists at that time, we didn't know there was a connection between peanut and sesame and the protein. So that was an ambulance journey. After that reaction, we actually were referred from the hospital to see not an allergist, but one of the paediatric doctors at the Children's Hospital with an interest in allergies. We then, over the years, went back to the GP and said we need to see an allergist because Evie's allergies have gone on and got worse and progressively worse, and we've collected more and more across the years. We have been given blood tests really every sort of 2 years, and that's given us a baseline for where Evie's at. Then they've been interspersed with skin prick tests so that we can then see how they're developing. We're very lucky now, we now see a leading consultant in Southampton. That's where we are really with her allergies, and she's seen 6 monthly there, and we hope she's growing out of her wheat allergy, but at the moment she is anaphylactic to dairy, egg, nuts, sesame. The good news is that we do know what she's anaphylactic to, and we have EpiPens at school and we have EpiPens at home. We also have EpiPens out and about, so when Evie goes and plays with friends, we've got EpiPens there. We've got those parents trained because we make sure they're trained, and she takes her own food, and she can even go on school trips because we've got a really supportive school. So although knowing is hard and we have to adjust our life, we can carry on, and Evie does everything that everybody else does.